In this video, I'm going to share what to do after graduating the coding bootcamp. Congratulations. And I'm going to share the 3 paths that you can take or I have taken personally so you know what to do next. So my name is Haris and I am the founder of EduGrow, where I help tutors and education entrepreneurs to grow their business. So to just share, I've been there. I have graduated from a coding bootcamp. It's scary because it's like first time, right? Am I able to get a software developer job? Oh, what should I do, right? So essentially, I'm going to share the 3 paths that I have taken, and I'm going to share the pros and cons with all of these paths that I have taken so you can make a better decision. So the 3 paths are full-time job, freelancer, and starting your own business. So let's get started with the first one, which is the full-time job. So I started the full-time job because number 1, I had no experience, and number 2, I need the money as well. So I think most of you kind of can relate. And I would say personally, when I joined as a full-time software developer, the pros or the advantage is that it's a stable source of income. You don't have to worry about finding clients and whatnot. So essentially, I believe most people get jobs because of this reason. And number 2 is also you usually have people to learn from as well, because as someone who is fresh out from a coding bootcamp, you have a level of experience and also coding skill to be able to build an application, but you still need some experience and skill to work in an environment to use your coding skills that you learn in a coding bootcamp, right? So you can learn from people who have coded more than you and more experience as well, and that's where you actually will level up. That's where I actually level up, because I was working with a senior developer. He opened my eyes to CI/CD and a lot of things that I didn't know about as well. So really good in terms of the advantage of a full-time job. But the cons is, you might know, is that number 1 is very competitive, right? So software developers, you can earn a very good income. So a lot of people join computer science or tech is because they know that the job itself can pay a lot of money. So it can be quite competitive, but to me personally, if you're good, if you're able to code a project, and then if you're able to pass the interview or the technical interview, most of the time you can actually get a job. But to just give a general sense, full-time jobs, most people are applying for a full-time job. So that's why it's competitive generally. Number 2 is that you're not in control. So you heard of the news of layoffs. Pay cuts are not something that you hear a lot, but these are things that you can't control. So it's not as stable as you think nowadays. So that's where it's something that you might not be, have control over, right? And third thing for me personally, need to wake up early. Okay, for me essentially, I like waking up early because I don't know, I'm used to it. But in essence, you don't have control over the time that you want to wake up and whatnot, right? So these are some cons that you and I might face as well. So after the full-time job, I essentially wanted to do my own thing, so I quit. And I started my own company. So this is like my first company called Zukun, which is called Future of Education. Failed, which is very normal. So the next path that I've taken, okay, let me share also why the reason I quit. Yeah, want to do my own thing. I also want to have more control, because that's what I realized after going through full-time employment is because I genuinely am more, I would say, motivated to have control or have ideas that I want to push, and most of the time the best way to do is through running your own business. So that's what I'm going to share. Business. So the advantage of business is that there's no limit of how much you can earn. Literally, you have no limits. So essentially, if your business is earning $10 million per year, you can earn close to $10 million per year, essentially. I mean, that's hypothetical, but if you can grow the business to $1 billion per year, you technically can take home 100 million. So literally, there's no limit. Not close to infinite yet, but no limit, right? And you have full control of everything, which I personally love, right? I love more money, and I also love control even more. Meaning, where is the company moving forward to? Oh, thumbs up. How much you are being paid in terms of hiring your own team, the culture. That's something that I really love to do for me, and that's something that I realized that running my own company will give me, right? So that is the pros. But the thing about cons or their disadvantage is that number one, it's very, 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 very difficult. The chances of you succeeding is very low, or you have the highest chance of failure, right? So in a job, the chances of you failing, if you're technically competent or you're able to code, it's like very low. But in a business, it's very high because there's a lot of factors that's affecting the success of your business. And number three is the thing that I realize is no one is going to guide you, because you are starting your own thing. So most of the time you don't have someone to guide you. I mean, nowadays there's a lot of places that you can go for guidance. You can hire a mentor, you can go for this thing called incubators, accelerators, where these are places where they help you, teach you how to run a business and start your own thing, right? So, but most of the time, no one's going to guide you unless you search for it, okay? And lastly, something that I learned is that you definitely won't have income in the first few days, months. If you're very good, then congrats, but otherwise, personally for me, you probably don't have income, or you don't have a high income compared to if you were to have a job. And for me, I had to use my savings to survive, because like most of the time you need to have to push for the business, and if you have employees, you pay the employees first. So yeah, that's the thing about business that people don't really share. Yeah, and that's me almost getting broke. And like I literally finished my savings going through business to like really experiment and try my best, but it was really not working out because I wasn't earning a lot of money. And luckily I got a message from my ex employer slash mentor that if I was free to teach coding freelance, and that really saved my savings out. And that's where I came to the next path that I've taken, which is freelancing. So freelancing advantage or pros is that you have the potential to earn more than a full-time employee. So for example, for me, I was able to earn $8,000 in 1 week. It's crazy how much you can earn as a freelancer, right? So similar to a business, but freelance is like if you were to do freelance and you're good at it, you can actually earn quite a bit. And then also control of your time as well, right? So in a way, you are an employee, but you can control your time and what kind of work you want to do, in a sense, right? So you can wake up anytime, you can work anytime as well, which is great, right? For business, if you don't work on your business, yeah, it won't be moving. Yeah, so that's one thing, another cons as well. But the cons about freelance is that it's not stable. That's what I've realized as well. If you have no work or no clients, you're literally not earning any money, right? And the thing is that you need to find clients, right? That's part of the job of being a freelancer. You need to find work, which essentially you need to find clients to pay you for work as well. So you need to learn a bit about marketing, how to negotiate for pricing. That's something that you don't learn, right? Unless you're okay with the pay, but I assume people want to earn a lot more. So that's the cons of being a freelancer as well. So to just summarize what all the paths that I've taken that you might take after the coding bootcamp is the full-time, freelance, and business. So the income ceiling, I would say, is that full-time essentially is low because you have like a legit like a ceiling, right? For freelance, you have a ceiling, but not as low as a full-time employee because essentially you are being paid per hour per project. And business, your income is as close to infinite because you literally can grow the business as big as you can, and your income can be as big as you can as well if you know how to do it well. However, the risk differs, meaning that in full-time, it's very stable, right? Yes, there are layoffs, all that, but it's very low because like generally, like if the company is very, very big, your employment, if you're a good worker, your employment is pretty stable. They won't really lay you off unless there is very like bad reasons for it as well. Freelance in a way is like if you do coding, essentially there are freelance work out there. It is medium risk because people are looking for freelancers. If you're a good freelancer, honestly, people will hire you. I'm not kidding, right? And then lastly, business is very, very high risk because number one, you need to make sure that your service or your product essentially is something that people will buy, and you always have to keep on chasing customers, And the thing is that especially what I've learned when I'm starting out, that's the highest risk that you will ever have, right? Because like you are spending money to survive, and maybe you're not earning income for a few months or a few years as well. So that's the highest risk. And maybe after a few years of doing the business, it's really not, it doesn't really launch and it's not successful at all. So you spend a lot of time building something that is unsuccessful. So that's the highest risk in terms of the path that I've taken. But stability as well, right? The job itself, very stable. Can't go wrong that much. Freelance, I would say, is like kind of stable. If you can get a job, if you're good, people will like in a way recommend you to other people for you, and your skills must be in demand. So coding is always in demand from what I've seen so far, right? So it's kind of stable, but there are times where if you don't have clients, you don't have money. And business, I say next day can die, next day die. So it's like, take it'll be like a pinch of salt, but essentially the stability of business, it goes up and down. Your heart rate also goes up and down. There are months where you don't have the revenue that you need, and if you have employees, where are you going to get the money to pay them, right? So these are things that you have to go through in a business itself. So these are things that I would say the paths that I've taken that you might want to take as well. So if I assume that if you are someone who just started out in the coding bootcamp in the software developer world, most of the time you start out full-time and then maybe you transition to freelance or even starting a business. There's no right and wrong path to take. For me, I started out full-time and then starting business and then do freelance, right? So I've taken all, and these are honestly what I've experienced, and there's no right and wrong. Some people actually started business first and then they continued business. Some started business and then they go full-time. So there's no wrong. For me personally, do what makes you feel comfortable with. So if you're comfortable taking a high risk, go for it. If you're comfortable taking the full-time, go for it. No right or wrong. It is your life, right? One thing is no regrets, right? So that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down on what path you are going to take or you have taken so far. With that said, thank you so much. Congratulations on graduating. I know it's a stressful period of learning tech, but trust me, it's worth it because I've been through it. There's so much opportunities out there, and I think it's one of the best decisions that I've made so far that has opened up to me to all of these paths. And that's where, like right now, I'm in a path of business because the tech industry promotes a lot of entrepreneurship and business as well. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.